In 2013, a young girl named Ella Kaiser Bradbury lost her life at the age of 9. Ella should have been looking forward to the future she had and enjoying her childhood. Instead, Ella suffered a fatal asthma attack, an asthma attack that could have been largely prevented. It was later revealed that after her death, she had been subject to illegal levels of pollution, levels so high they contributed to the cause and severity of her death. Just imagine the pain her family must feel knowing that her death could have largely been prevented. Yet, Ella's death wasn't just one. Each year, 920,000 children are killed by polluted-related causes. Combine that with rising sea levels, with rising temperatures, and rising rainfall, and millions of people are being affected each year. So where do we go from here? Well, we need to address the elephant in the room here, climate change. We've been having this conversation for nearly 40 years, and let's be honest, we're not really getting anywhere. A little secret, governments aren't really too bothered about it, and they're not really going to make the required change. So where do we turn to? We have to turn to climate movements. What they do is such a crucial role. They turn the information from scientists and make it into a clear message that people can understand and get on board with. The aim is social change. The end goal is political change. But at the moment in time, they're failing to do both. So what's the solution? Transformation is what's needed. At the moment, the climate movement is too white and it is too middle class. NGOs like Greenpeace and the School Strike for Climate movement may be great, but they're lacking diversity and it is too full of white people. We then can look at Extinction Rebellion. Their tactics include taking weeks off work and possibly getting arrested. How on earth does that appeal to low-income individuals? It doesn't. What about the single mother who has to work 2 jobs just to put food on the table for her kids? What about the self-employed plumber who has to work 50-hour weeks just to make ends meet? How is the climate movement facilitating for them? It's not. There needs to be a transformation in how we cut through to people. So we need to transform how we frame the issue. At the moment, there's a lack of unity over what the message means. There's no cohesion. You need to stop flying. You need to eat a vegan diet and eat loads of Greggs sausage rolls. And what you also need to do is you need to vote for the right leaders. But what does this mean? This rhetoric assumes that the argument has been won in regards to climate change, when we look at the facts, people's behaviour is not changing. So that is not the case. So how do we reframe the issue? Well, reframe it as a class problem. In the US, people of colour are 60% more likely to be negatively affected by climate change than the average white person. That is staggering. When you frame something as an injustice, and you frame it where people are being badly dealt with, then they tend to rise up. Just look at anything throughout history. But what do we do next? Another way in which they can transform how they frame the issue and how they go from there is by empowering non-Western voices. You need to look at people in the global south and the global east just to look at that. In India last year, temperatures reached 51 degrees Celsius, killing 134 people. In Indonesia, Bangladesh and Pakistan, flash floods displaced millions. Meanwhile, the Pacific Islands are literally being flooded by rising sea levels, despite contributing just 0.1% to global carbon emissions. These people have voices. These people have stories to tell. These people have solutions. Climate movements at this moment in time paint a theoretical picture of what Western Europe might look like in 20 years' time. But as I said, this doesn't cut through to people. You need to empower the voices of non-Western people so that they're driving the movement to show that change is already happening and that the climate crisis is already affecting people and that it's going to have devastating consequences if nothing happens. So when we look back to Ella and look at the pain her family went through, we need to remember that this is something that millions of people go through each year. Unfortunately, the government is not going to do enough. So climate movements have a massive responsibility to engage people and put it on the agenda. But at the moment in time, they're not doing enough to do that. They have to change their approach. They have to go through transformation. Thank you. Thank you very much.